Good morning. My name is Vincent Meza, and this is our getting started call. And, before we start the call here, we were talking, kind of where everybody's coming from. And boy, some of our clients have been with us for 10 years and 6 months. And it's been a 13-year ride. It's 2022 now. We're pretty excited about the ability for us to help our clients capture leads. I just don't think there's another company right now that can generate as many leads as us, especially at the cost. And we have a lot of tools that work with social media. We have a lot of tools that work with your CRM. If you've got farm markets and you need print tools, you've got some of the best, strongest tools there. We have a serious tech schedule going on this year, and we always want to add, we want to kind of stay where the market is, right? Where what's changing. And so you'll see that there's some new things. I'm going to show you one of the newest things right now. But what I do want to kind of point out, as you see here on our website, we have tools for you if you have listings, and we have tools for you if you don't have listings. And if you want to talk to buyers or sellers, we've got tools to help. Okay. In either case. So let's see if I'm logged in. Am I logged in here? Yeah. So I want to show you one of the new things. I'm just going to show you a new thing very quickly. There's some of you who've been here for a while and some of you are not. So there are kind of a couple of things that are going to be added. So I'll give you kind of the highlights of that really quickly. First of all, in the settings page right here, there are two things that many of you don't know. On the ad section, you can actually have us run ads for you automatically on your listings. Right? You could say, hey, I want my monthly budget to be 300. And anytime I have a listing that's coming soon, you'll notice that this says coming soon to MLS. This is actually a distinction for Canada. This is a legal term that they can use. So if you're a Canadian client, we just added that. And then so you can choose your statuses like, hey, open house, and maybe you want to do sold, right? And you could say, I want a maximum of 3 ads per week, and you save it. And anytime you have listings that have that status here, we will run the ad for you automatically, and we will capture leads for you with name, email, and phone number. Now that's on the settings page, on the listings page, but we just added something just about 2 days ago that I definitely want everybody to see. So this doesn't matter if you're in Canada or not. You now have something that's on the preferences page in settings. It says show multiple listings in photos, right? So the default is one photo, right? So I'll show you what this looks like in just a moment, but you can see that you can have multiple photos when we're doing auto posting or when we're doing ads for you. So let's go look at that, what we're talking about here. This is an automated post. Okay. Now by default, we would put that text that you see here, all these hashtags, all those emojis, that all happens automatically. And traditionally, we'd have one big photo going across here. Well, now Facebook has allowed it to where we can now have multiple photos so people can scroll through and see a few more. There's maximum 5. But you can take advantage of that by going to listings over here on the left, then settings, then preferences, and change that to a multiple photo. Okay. You'll notice here that I have phone field turned off and make the phone field required. Now, this is not the normal settings, but I do want to talk a little bit about this. On a lot of our tools, let's click on this one. Let's see what happens when I click on that. This takes us to a single property website, right? So our automated post that goes on social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, it can look like this, but when people click on it, we take them to a single property website. Okay. And there's always going to be a call to action that pops up, an automated form. Now, so what I was showing you here in the profile is this thing about making phone field required. And I'm going to explain this to you because when you make it required here, that means that somebody's got to physically type it here. Okay. And what I want you to know is when you require that, you pretty much kill your lead gen by about 95%. So they just stop. You just stop getting leads, because when you ask somebody to type in their phone number, they're just like, nope, thanks. So with phone numbers, it's just not right there. Right there in the preferences, we don't want to do that. So I'm just showing you a couple of new things that there, and also the automated ads. But what I want to talk about for the first few moments is the setup, right? What do you need to set up when you're a new client? And if you're an old client, you may not have a lot of the new stuff turned on. So it's worthwhile sort of watching what's going on here. So this is my profile. You each have a profile at the bottom left. You definitely want to be taking advantage of our auto post, right? So you want to connect to all these platforms. And even if you don't use these platforms, or you haven't used them in years, I recommend that you go and get those connected, because the way we do these automated posts, even if you have 3 friends on Twitter, there are hashtags on it. And these are very popular hashtags for real estate. And that's how you want it. And so when we auto post, more people see it than your 3 friends. So connect all your social media here. And then click on listings over here. And when you do that, this box here will be empty. And you need to click that green button, and that will copy this text and put it right here in this box, and then click save. Now, just so you know what that is, you see, we started back here. This is the automated post. You see that text there? That text is this text. So this is how you get it on there. And I know there's a small percentage of you, or maybe it's not a small percentage, but when you connect here, you think that's all you need to do is connect your social media, and you don't know that you need to click here and do this, right? They copy here and paste, and then save it. Now you can also automate seller ads, right? You can automate seller posts, which means this is going to auto share. This will auto post every week, or however often you want, a home valuation post, so people can get free home values. You can also automate down payer assistance. We got a down payer assistance landing page, and even new construction. So if you want to automate all this, you can. Over here is a CRM integration, and we keep adding more and more platforms. If you are not familiar and you have your own CRM, we just added Follow Up Boss here. Obviously, we got, KV Core and Boomtown and Realty Juggler. Oh, actually, no, we just added Realty Juggler. But if your CRM is not on this list, you can click on other CRMs, and usually your CRM will have an email address, like a special email address. You only need it in there one time. I don't know why it does this. You only need it one time, so that, and so it used to be like Follow Up Boss had, Vincent at, whatever weird number at Follow Up Boss. And that would be a unique destination for your leads. And so when you put it here, we'll send all the leads that you capture in our system there, and then they'll drag it down and drop in your CRM. So that's kind of important to know. On preferences, if you have reviews on Zillow, you can click this button right here, and we'll auto sweep them into some of your tools. Now, we are adding more review platforms to the system. They'll probably be live in the next 30 days. So I would definitely recommend that you jump on a call in about a month to see the new things. And actually, generally speaking, you should be on a call with us like once a month, because I always talk about the latest things that we're pushing, right? And we're about to add Google Ads, which is a very powerful place for realtors to advertise. We're about to launch an integration with a printer to make one of our strongest tools for capturing listing leads much easier to use. So we need to set up auto posting. We need to set up our CRM integration. There's a couple things here that I've shown you. There's also another thing that this has to do with the office and team accounts. You see this page down here that says lead links. Now, lead links really has to do with, let me refresh this and show it to you. You see, this is our single property website. It says follow Zone. And there's a link here that says free home values. That is a lead link. Okay. And you can see, I don't know if you can see, it says search all properties, free home values, Kevin Agent, right? That's the URL. This is an important piece especially if you're part of a office. Okay. Now, if you're a single agent and you signed up as a single agent, this is not a concern for you. Yeah, Julie, keep an eye. We'll be adding Google reviews pretty soon, in probably the next few weeks. I just was reading about it a few minutes ago, so we're just about done with that. So over here on the left-hand side, I have what's called lead links, right? And on the tab over here on the left, I have lead links. And you see here that I have a free home value. If you hover over it, you can see that this is my link, right? And I've got all these other lead links. And if you click on them, they drive right to my website. Now, if you've got a powerful website, you definitely want to take advantage of lead links, right? But also, here's the most important thing. This is a single property website, and this home is for sale. And one thing about our system, I'm going to start showing this to you in a bit, is when you scroll through the tools, this is a single property website, our virtual tours are similar. We're always asking people, do you want your home value, right? What is your home worth? Why would we do that, right? When this home is for sale? Because we know what you know is there are many people out there looking and researching real estate that own homes. They want to find out what's going on in the market so that they can make an estimate of their own home value long before they want to talk to you, the realtor. So if you're marketing your homes with our tools, we're going to have a multiple call to actions offering them a free home value, right? At the bottom is this big old footer here, right? What is your home worth? Up here, what is your home worth? And right over here, free home values. If you're part of an office or a big account, these links are not pointing to you, okay? So you need to make sure that those links, this lead links, is your lead link. And you can tell because your username will be at the top. So as I hover over it, it says eastbay.freehomevalues.net. So again, if you have an agent account, no problem. It's going to work. But if you're part of an office, you need to go over here to landing pages on the left. And you need to, we've already created a free home value. You have a free home value page right here. You just need to click on the eyeball, copy that URL at the top, copy the web address, and then go back to lead links and swap out by clicking the edit button. The edit button is the pencil over here on the right. You just click that and then you wipe that, what is there, and you put in your own, right? So that when your tools go out, and I'm going to show you that free home value thing as we get tools here, those leads will go to you. Okay, that's the whole point. These home value leads, we want them to go to you. So if you're part of a team account, make sure and go over lead links and make sure that's pointing to you. So let's see, what else do we need to do for setup? Right here, it says social. And this is something that I definitely recommend. So over on the profile, we turned on social media auto posts, and that's to auto post your listings and a few landing pages. But this section here is social content. And this content, it's more to help your pages look good. Okay. So let's click on something here and see what we're talking about. So this is content related to real estate that will automatically post to your social media. So when you come here the first time, it's going to say, hey, what business page, what social media accounts do you want to go? Right. And then it's going to say, okay, well, how often do you want us to post? I do my posting every Friday. And then it says, what topics? And there, as you can see, are a lot of topics, right? Kitchen design, exterior design. If you want to see what's under the topics, there's always an eyeball. You can click on that and you can see that we've written all these, posts, and they have pictures on them. They look good. And if you want to automatically use them, turn it on, right? so that your social media looks like you actually take care, right? That's the whole point of that. Not a lot of lead gen here. Okay. Not a lot of lead capture here, but it's just good content. It's colorful. It's written well. And that, we really think that you should turn that on. You're right. And then we talked about on listings that we can automate ads. And then on the profile, we can do social media auto. So that's kind of all the setup, right? Any questions about the setup so far? Does it go to all social media sites? It goes to all your social media sites all at the same time. Yeah. And so you just set the time of how often do you want it to go. I think you can do maximum twice a day, 7 days a week, and that will be under the settings page. So, okay. So that's kind of the setup. Let's talk about what's going on with listings to leads. And there's kind of two areas that you need to be familiar with. The listings page here and the ads page here. Okay. And that's kind of it. So let's go into the listings page and let's talk about that. Let's talk about what's the key that you need to do. So first of all, your listing should be swept into the system automatically. Okay. And if you have an active listing, we should be able to see them and we can sweep it in. If you have an active listing and it's not showing up in your account, email support and give them the address and say, hey, can you help me find my listing? And then they'll be able to help. But once it's here, I want to make sure you're aware this column that says status. Usually everything comes in when it's just listed. Okay. And if you've got social media auto posting turned on, bam, we'll post it to your social media automatically. If you've got automated ads turned on, bam, we're going to run an ad for you automatically. Right. And that ad's going to come back with name, email, and phone number. So, but when it comes in just listed, those call to actions are all to get buyers. When it's coming soon, when it's just active, all the call to actions are to get buyers. When it's later stage, like under contract, pending, active contingent, or sold, those call to actions are designed to get more listings. Okay. So you want to kind of remember that if you want more listings, marketing as sold is actually one of the cheapest ways to get more listing leads. So I've got an open house here and let's go look at some of the tools that we create. All these tools, this whole list that you're looking at here are all generated automatically. Let's see here. What if yeah. Okay. What if another agent has given you permission to market? How do you add? Yeah, I was going to say that and then I forgot. So I'm glad you asked that question. This is the listings page. And there is a button up here that says add listing. It's green. When you click it, there's an option to grab a listing. So if the listing is active, just drop in the zip code and the MLS ID, deselect this since it's not your listing. Okay. This way we don't create a YouTube video or a WordPress post. If we did either of those two things, it could get you in trouble. But if somebody's given you permission to market their listing, put in the zip code, the MLS ID, and click grab, and we'll pull it in, and it will look like your listing. And then all the tools that I'm about to show you will be available to you. So I'm going to click on this one, which is an open house. And the first thing we drop you on is Facebook ads. Now you do have to connect your Facebook ad account. You'll notice that mine is sponsored by Listings to Leads. Your ads are going to be sponsored by your business page. And to get a buyer lead, all you need to do is click create an ad. Okay. We put a $35 ad out for 7 days. Buyer leads on average cost about $1.50 each. Okay. Maybe $1.60. So you can, here's the fastest way to run an ad, right? I don't know if you run an ad on Facebook, but if you do it inside Facebook, it's about 3 pages long and you got to click about 12 different boxes to have a correct, successful ad, right? In our world, you just choose your property and you click create an ad. And we checked we have Facebook software embedded in this page and we know by what you're clicking, what your goal is. So we check all the boxes for you. Now, social media posts, which is the next thing down the list, this is a social media auto posting. Okay. So if I click here, it tells me that it was already posted. So if I want to click here, it will take me to the post, right? And I showed you on the setup part when we first started talking, like you turn on social media auto posting on your profile. And this is what mine looks like, right? And when you click on it, we're going to drive people to a page, right? This one is an open house. So we're looking for buyer leads. And when people click for more details over here, continue to Facebook, we grab their name and email and deliver it to you. And we tell you what property they're looking, right? And so that is a free automated post that we put out there for you. And there's a landing page behind it to capture leads and deliver those leads for you. So you can get free leads that way. Okay. Let me pause that so we can pop it in. Give me our call here. So to run a Facebook ad, that's the first thing we drop you on. You just click create an ad. To create a social media post, well, let us do it for you automatically. The next tool is a seller social media. We email this to you. And I definitely recommend that you take advantage of it because the leads that this gets are more like referrals. Okay. So if you like referrals, I would get familiar with using this tool at every status. So this one says, hey, we're having an open house and Vincent Mays at LDL Realty is doing a lot of marketing. So this is not for my social media. This is not for your social media. It's for your homeowner. So you take the email that we're sending you, you open it up and you click forward and you wipe out everything except what needs to be there, which is frankly, this language here. So that when you send it to your client, see if I have it open. Let's see. I might actually have one on my page. So we go look over it. So when you send it to your client, you email it to your client and you say, hey, and you call them and you say, I just sent you something. And this is what it looks like for the open house, right? I just sent you something. Would you put that on your wall? Because we want more people to know we're having an open house and we want to get as many offers as possible, top dollar. So that's when it's open house. This is when it's just listed. Our home is just listed. Jim Neal at EXP did this. If you click on this, it's going to take them to a tool where we can capture a lead, right? And deliver it to you. Now, what's also really important is when the home is sold, it says, hey, we just sold our home and Jim at EXP did an excellent job. Here's his phone number and email for all my friends and family on Facebook to see. Okay. And when you click on that, now we're driving to a single property website, but the home is sold. So when the home is sold, we're not trying to get buyers. When the call to action pops up, we're offering a free home value. And that's why you want to use our tools. If you want more listings, you want to market your homes as sold with our system. Okay. So let's go back. Let me find my way. That's a seller social media. We also have an e-flyer form. Now, this tool here, the nearby homeowner letter, is the number one tool for capturing listing leads that turn into listing contracts. Okay. So if you want more listings, you want to use this tool. There are 3 versions of it. It's just frankly, let me just download it, show it to you. It's a piece of paper. Okay. We're downloading a PDF. You then print it. It is a simple piece of paper, right? There's no algorithms or artificial intelligence. It says, I've got an open house in your neighborhood from 1 to 4. Take this piece of paper to your own computer and go find out about it right here. But when that home is sold, that's going to affect their home value. So go here to this web address and give me your address and your email. And I'm going to give you a free home value. There are not many people who are going to do that. First of all, they got to open the letter or however you get it to them. And then they got to walk in inside their house and they got to type that in. So I want to give you a little bit of, show you which of these seems to be the best response. I don't know what you mean, but all 3 of those versions of those letter, it doesn't matter which one you use. It's just a question of what aesthetics you like, right? You can edit all this language up here. You can edit the language here. And our clients do edit that. I'm going to take us over to the mastermind group. Let's see here. Let's see, maybe is this it? Yeah, I think this is it. So the mastermind group, if you haven't gotten in there, use a support page in your account. Sorry, yeah, there we go. And to get them in here. You cannot find this on Facebook if you're not in it. It's a private group, so you can't find it. So you use the support team to get in there. And if you do, I'm going to give you a couple of names. Chris Winstead is one of the names. And this is how this guy applied. Right here, he's saying, hey, I got 5 listings in 3 months, right? That's us in his own neighborhood, right? So what did he do? Well, he took that letter. I'll show you right here because we actually asked him and then he answered like, just, I send out letters every other week to neighbors who own their homes for 5 years. Once they opt in on the home value page, I hit them up every week with phone calls, bomb, letters via mail, and letters left at the door. So what's going on is he is using this letter, and he, first of all, he bought a list from Remind, okay? And he uses that list, and he buys a list of people who've owned their homes for more than 5 years. And then he mails this out every 2 weeks to the neighborhood, right? So these are people with equity, Remind, not Remon, Remind, like a landmine, but RE in front of it, right? There are a few companies that do this, but that's the one that I hear of the most. And I actually heard a few things. So I'm going to just give you a few names that I want you to know. Chris Winstead. Anything this guy's writing in our mastermind group, if you want more listings, you should pay attention to what he's saying. Alicia Plus. Now, Alicia has been a long-time client. She comes in here all the time and saying, hey, and what she follows is something that I was teaching a long time ago, which is you don't want this stuff to look like junk mail. You want it to look custom. So custom handwritten notes, colorful envelopes, something that doesn't look like junk mail so people will take the time to open it. Okay. Alicia Plus and Dustin Fox. Dustin Fox is in the Maryland area. He mailed that same letter to 250 homes, first class, cost him $625, but he pulls 10 listings with an average commission of $17,000. You can learn a lot by reading what these 3 people have to say regarding that letter. But I will tell you, they all did that. They used this letter, and they did it the hard way, and the way that you're going to have to do it right now. And that means that they download the letter from here. They print up 100, 200 copies. They get their own envelopes. They stuff them in there and they handwrite them and they mail them out. They buy a list and they mail them out. Okay. Now, in the future, in less than 30 days, on this page right here that you're looking at is going to be the integration with a company called Express Copy, where you will be able to, just by clicking buttons, say, I want 200 pieces to go out, or I want 100 pieces to go out. I want them to go to this zip code. I also want them to have this many years of equity. Okay. So all the work that those 3 names that I was telling you about, Chris Winstead, Dustin Fox, and Alicia Plus, they were doing it all by hand. In less than 30 days, you're going to be able to have it done automatically for you. If you want more listings, I definitely recommend that you start using this. One way or another, whether you wait for the integration or you do it by hand. And so we're really excited to see that coming down, becoming available for our clients. As I already mentioned, we have the ability to run ads and get buyer leads for you automatically, but to get listing leads in a really automated way, and these are the highest quality leads, we definitely recommend. So there will be a label. I don't know how they do the front end of the label, Julie, but they're going to do that. Now, I'm going to share with you something that I heard last week, which was actually super smart. It's a really kind of techie. Okay. I'm going to just tell you, this call is being recorded and it's going to be in the mastermind group. And I definitely recommend that you go back and because you're probably not going to understand what I'm going to tell you right now. Okay. That list from Remind, if you buy that list from Remind, you can actually buy like lists of 10,000, right? And so it makes some sense to buy a few of those lists, maybe 2 or 3, with and about 70% of these addresses also have email addresses. So there's a way to upload them into Facebook as a custom audience. And then you can run ads to those same people at the same time that you're doing mailings. This is a really smart way of getting listing leads for Facebook, is doing a custom audience. And I'll explain that a little bit more as we get into running ads. So back here to the list, these top 5 things you definitely want to use. There's also eFlyer for your database. And this is actually a great tool. It's like the print letter, but it's an electronic version. So if you've got a CRM of a few hundred or a few thousand people, you want to click this button here to copy the code, which copies the freaky HTML code underneath there. And then you go take it to your deal and you blast it out. Here, if you click on that picture or that link, we're going to send people to a page where they can become a buyer lead. But down here, it says when that home is sold, that's going to affect your home value. If somebody clicks here, well, you kind of know this page now. We're going to get a listing for it. So the same flyer has multiple call to actions to help you capture leads. It's even got your favorite lead gen links here, right? So we really recommend that you're using this once a week or every other week on your CRM. Now, we also create single property websites. We've been looking at them. We create virtual tours. We have a whole open house marketing toolkit. We have postcards and door hangers. And just like the flyers, on one side, it says, I've got a home for sale. On the back side, it says, get your free home back. It's going to affect your home value. So these designs here, you can print up. You can use Prospect Plus here, which they're familiar with us. And they do that pretty cheaply. And they've got the whole interface where they can do it for you automatically. So if you like postcards and door hangers, that's a great way to go. Sign writers, there are kind of 2 options. One, you can use our text service over here, which is an additional $10 and you get 10 codes and they stay with you and you can rotate them through your properties. And the other is QR code. And our clients are happy with either or both of those. So you can certainly use that. We've got tools down here for bloggers. You can copy and paste these. Every one of these tools is designed to capture leads. We got a way to post to Craigslist. Not as many leads as you used to get from Craigslist, but they can be good leads because Craigslist has got so difficult that if people really want to reach out to you, they have to jump through a number of hoops to get a hold of you. So that's the listing marketing side. Okay. You really want to concentrate on these top 5, top 6 tools here. Now there's a section over here that's ads, and ads is super, super powerful. We just had somebody come in last week in the mastermind group and he was pretty excited. Let me see if I can, let's see, give me 1 second. His name is something Lewis. Yeah, let's see if we can see. He put in this video just a couple days ago. I don't see it, but he basically said, I just generated 400 leads this month. And here you can see, like, he did post something here. Well, this is back in December, right? He said, I got 300 leads, right? So he's super excited. But he actually just had a video that he put in our group somewhere. And it said, I got 400 leads and I'm getting it for cheaper than I used to get from just doing it myself. So he's using our system to run ads. And this is, so when you come here to the ads page, it's not going to look like this the first time. It's going to have one green button that says connect to Facebook, right? So you click that and it shows your name on Facebook. It says continue as you, and you click yes. And then it shows your business pages. You can choose multiple business pages, but you at least want one, which is going to be your real estate business page. And then you click OK and done. And then you come back here and you're going to see those 3 green buttons. You can create a listing ad, a landing page ad, and a PDF guide. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but I've got a kind of a slightly green box here that says the last time my Facebook account was synced. You're also going to have a yellow box here that kind of looks like a faint yellow box, and it's going to say accept the custom audience terms. I recommend that you click that. going to take you to Facebook. There's going to be a big button at the top that says accept terms, and you accept it. You come back here and refresh. And now that yellow box is going to say turn on retargeting. Okay. And I would turn on retargeting. And once you've done that, this blue button right here, create an audience, is going to become available. Now, when you turn on retargeting, what that does is that tells listings to leads, tells us to create a file in your personal Facebook account, okay, in your ad manager. And that file is going to say L to L audience, right? And that means any lead that we capture from any tool that you use with us, we're going to drop in Facebook. And then I'll show you in a moment that you'll be able to run ads in front of those people going forward. You want to do that, right? If you want to convert leads, you need to reach out to leads more than once in the first 24 hours. Running ads in front of them is a good way of doing that. But ideally, your CRM, you got a drip campaign, and you're texting them every once in a while until they're comfortable enough to talk to you. Okay. So remember when I said that Chris Winstead bought a list from Remind, right? This guy bought a list from Remind and he mails it. He mails a letter every 2 weeks. Well, you can take the same list now and go create an audience. And then this shows you the format, like you need an email, number, first name, last name, and then you can upload it. You call it whatever you want, right? My Dusty CRM leads, and you upload it. And that's a great way to have a good list from Remind of people with equity, and you would know like the towns that you want there, right? That's a really smart way to go. So let's see, I see some questions here. Let's tackle those. Yes, Catherine, you can add sold properties. So let's go back to listings, and you can add a listing here. If you're new to our account, we can't sweep in sold listings. We can't see them. So you would have to go here and do a manual one. And you can see here, there's really only like five fields that are really required. The rest we don't even need, but just put a photo or two, and then all the tools will be created. So, and then you'll be able to go back to ads and run ads. So now we talked about connecting. We talked about creating a custom audience. I want to talk about how to run ads, but I'm going to tell you this from the perspective of getting more listings. Okay. So I'm going to show you all three of these buttons, but I'm going to talk about it in terms of getting listing leads, not buyer leads, but you can certainly get buyer leads here and really easily. But if you want listing leads, click on create listing ad, find your property that's sold. You can see it's sold right here, and leave it on lead ads and click create an ad. We just analyzed the last $500,000 spent by our clients through our platform. As you can imagine, we've got thousands of clients running ads every day, just like I'm doing right now. So we downloaded all the sales, all the ad spend to look at what's going on when it comes to getting listings. And what we found is just sold ads, just like this, are the cheapest way to get listing leads. Okay. So it says just sold. You can do what I do recommend is that you click advanced options. Let's see here. What's the problem? I got some kind of weird thing here going on with my computer. There it is. There's some kind of, you can't see it. There's like a fake invisible box that's stopping it. But when I click advanced options, this primary text here is the same text as over here on the right. So before you run the ad, there's usually some things going on, like right now, the market is hot, right, for sellers. So things like this happen. And a lot of agents don't know that they should be writing this in their ad, that they want people to respond, right? So you're selling homes fast. Often you're selling it for above asking. You want to say that. If you've got multiple offers, you want to say that. And if you got more buyers still looking, right? These are reasons why people should talk to you, because you're able to sell quickly and get top dollar. So before you run a sold ad, I recommend that you add those data points if they're relevant. But I received the least amount of leads from just sold ads. Did you do what I just showed you here, Julie? Did you edit that ad? Right. So Julie is saying that she actually ran a just sold ad and she didn't do any of this, what I just described here. And you'll often find, as Julie found, that she gets very few leads. And that's because this static information is not compelling enough for people to even know that they should look at it, right? So if you're writing something in there that you're moving, you're selling properties, you're doing it quickly, getting top dollars, people will respond more, right? That's just how it is. The other way of getting listing leads. Now remember, those leads cost about $5.50 each. If I go over here to PDF guide ad, you'll notice that we have over 25 PDF guides for buyers. We have over 25 for sellers. And if you download any of these, there's a little white button you can download. You'll notice that your contact information is on every page of every report. And if you click this little theme thing over here, you can even change the color scheme to your office, right? So you can do all that. The branding's going to fit your branding. And then you decide which thing you want to do. I got to do divorce and real estate. I just kind of correlated. There's something going on. The average time spent in a home by a homeowner before they sell is like 7 to 8 years. You know how long the average marriage is in the United States? 8 years. So that's what I was like, oh, that's interesting. So we have something here, just light story on divorce and real estate, what to think about, right? All you need to do here is type in the name of a town, right? Who knows? Maybe people are thinking of getting, a divorce places. But there's all kinds of reports, right? And like I said, there are reports for buyers and for sellers, more than 25 for each category. So you can come in and run, and I would definitely recommend to all of you that you run a PDF guide ad at least once a week or every other week. Because when you're doing this, you're basically letting everybody know that you're a resource for real estate, right? 5 dangers of overpricing, 12 mistakes to avoid when selling a home, curb appeal, right? There's all kinds of concepts here that you can use, and I would definitely do that. And so when people respond, you're gonna let's see if we can do that one more time. 12 mistakes to avoid. When they respond to this ad, they can download the report. But in order to download the report, they got to give you their name and email and phone number as it's pre-populated from their profile. So they don't need to type it in. Facebook is just saying, hey, do you want that information? You got to give this contact. And that's how a lot of our clients get a lot of leads and phone numbers. I will tell you this. These leads cost around $11 to $12 each. Okay. So I showed you the just sold ads and I told you those leads cost about $5.50 each. We just had somebody come in the mastermind group last week and say, you know what? I am running ads not for just sold, but for under contract. Right. And those were, now this, I can't say this is an average, but he was getting listing leads because it's in contract for $2.50 each. Right. And you got a lot of listing leads and phone numbers. So you do want to write things in there to make it really clear of why they need to click to get their home value. Because sometimes this boilerplate language, like Julie noticed, it's not compelling enough to get people to click. They just look at it as it's informative and you want people to click. So you might have to write a couple things to get people active. So let's see what else. Oh, and then the last section is to create a landing page ad. Now we create 3 landing pages for you, right? Just like by default when you sign up. And so what is problem wise? Sorry guys. Let's see here, Catherine. I have a PA under contract. Can I advertise the listing as under contract without the list? Catherine is asking, what is a PA under contract? I have a PA under contract with my buyer. Can I advertise the listing as under contract without the list purchase agreement? Thank you. Thank you. So can I advertise the listing as under contract without the listing agent's permission? Catherine, I'm afraid I don't know the local rules of every MLS. So you might want to check that out with your office manager or your MLS about that. But that being said, a lot of agents who are the buyer's agent will market the home as sold, right? Or like under contract. I don't know if they're asking permission or not, but they definitely are doing that because they know the home is sold, right? So let's go here to landing pages, and I'm going to do an ad on new construction. We give you free home values, new construction, and first time home buyer, right? So when we click here, all you need to do is type in the name of the town on the left here, okay? And that will get leads for people who are interested in new construction. Now, I do want to point out, right? Like Julie was saying, I've run an ad on just sold and I don't get a lot of leads. And so there might be some reasons. Similarly, new construction ads, we're giving you the ability to do it, but I'm not telling you like you're going to get like 100 leads this way, because new construction is cool, but that's not typically the number one thing people are looking for. When people are looking for a home, the first criteria is usually price, right? If the new construction fits in that price bracket, great. But all that being said, it's like you don't always get a lot of leads from this, but I'm just showing you can do it. Now, I do want to point out on landing pages here that most agents want to do a free home values. I'm going to do one. This is my property valuation plus is the home value page, right? So I've got one for Pleasant Hill, and I want to explain to you a lot about this, right? So this says, hey, April home sales of Pleasant Hill are in, that's affecting your home value. Click here to get your free home value, right? And so this is for Pleasant Hill, and I want to show this to you because the heck is this? Sorry. When you do this, this is not a great way. So let's slow down a bit, because this is not a great way to get high quality leads for listings. Also, it's the most expensive way. Okay. Facebook sets the price per lead, and they know that this kind of ad is very important to realtors. So they charge the most. So these leads can often cost like $15 each. Okay. But I want to show you something. You notice that you can't make the radius any tighter than 15 miles. Okay. So what does that mean in real? Right. So I'm going to click on this. Now, 15-mile radius might not be a problem for you. Right. But I live in a more urban area. Okay. And let me show you where Pleasant Hill is in relation to the map. Okay. So this is in Contra Costa County. There's about 1 million people that live in this county, but in Pleasant Hill, there's only 30,000 people that live there. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little white box here in the middle of my screen. Okay. Now, when we run an ad, Facebook won't allow us. In the past, had we been talking 3 or 4 years ago, you could literally say, I want people who live in that zip code of Pleasant Hill. That's the only people I want to see this. And that's when that kind of ad was awesome. But now, because Facebook has gotten themselves in trouble for a number of reasons, you cannot target people anymore in that way, right? So now if you're using Facebook ads for home value ads, you're overspraying, right? Like literally way over here on the left in Rodeo and Crockett, and down here in Orinda, and down here in Alamo and Dublin, and way over here on the right in Pittsburgh, all these people are seeing your ads. And if they click on it just out of just curiosity, they're chewing up 15 of your dollars, right? So it's really tough to use this kind of ad because you're not going to get high quality leads. Okay. Now, for some of our clients, they do get high quality leads and they're able to convert those. But it's really, you cannot target the way you used to. Now, if you remember, I was talking a few minutes ago about Remind, right? And if you bought a list of Remind, you could actually say, hey, I want to get everybody with 5 years equity in Pleasant Hill from Remind, and then I'm going to create it as a custom audience. And if it's a custom audience, well, now you can come here and say, now I don't have one for Pleasant Hill, but I do have one from the L to L audience that we created. So if you turn on retargeting and custom audience, you're going to have this in your account. But if you bought a list from Remind or any other company and you called it like Pleasant Hill, homeowners, you could then target those people because you bought it somewhere else. And that's what this does here. And that can make this really powerful. There's a lot of steps there. Okay. There's a lot of steps because you got to know how to go find Remind and how to get that list and to have it be a pretty big list, and then go over here to ads and create an audience with, your Pleasant Hill list. Yes. So Julie, if I create an audience, so let me kind of describe to you guys. As I mentioned, Pleasant Hill has about 30,000 people living in. So let's just say 20,000 own a home. Okay. And let's say that 10,000 have owned it for more than 10 years. And you're able to buy that list from Remind of those people, right? So you got a list of 10,000 people, and 70% of them have emails. Even with a name or the phone number, if you upload it right here, Facebook is going to create an audience, and you can call it whatever you want to call it, right? You can call it Pleasant Hill Leads, right? Or Pleasant Hill Homeowner. So now when you run and you create the list, the audience, because you bought a list somehow, maybe you got it from a lender partner or something like that. And then whatever you decide to do here, when you decide, hey, I want to run a sold ad, or I want to do a PDF ad, or I want to do a landing page ad, you can now say, I want to retarget and I want my Pleasant Hill people to see that. There are a fair amount of steps, what I've just described to you there. But if you want listings, that is a really smart way to go, right? To get those kinds of lists of people with equity and get them in your system. I would tell you, like, the bulk of our clients, realtors just like you, there's a song that they always sing to me, and the chorus goes like this: I'm not tech savvy, right? I'm not a tech savvy agent. And I understand that. I hear that. That's probably the number one thing I hear from our clients. But I do want to point out, and we do have a lot of tech savvy clients. We have a lot. And I was on the phone with one a few weeks ago, and he's like, oh my God, I just tried to create my own audience inside Facebook through their platform, and it took me an hour. And now that you've done this, it takes me like 2 minutes. Like, it's just a couple click, and that will work. So we do have support pages. The support team can give it to you. That will help you do that. It's almost like you can do it yourself without any support. Just turn on custom audiences, turn on retargeting, then create the audience here. When you click create an audience, this shows you what your spreadsheet needs to look like, and you buy that spreadsheet from whoever you want. Yeah, Julie, if you go over to the support team and ask them, there are a lot of step-by-step. So yeah, but, and Julie, as you asked, yes, if you create a custom audience and you tell us, to drive the people there, those are the only people who are going to see it. Okay. Now, I do want to remind you that the fastest way to get buyer leads is definitely marketing a home that is for sale, right? Here's my open house I was showing you guys earlier. And you can just, boom, go like this and publish. and you're going to get a lot of leads with phone numbers. So guys, that's kind of the story. I do want to point out this is being recorded and it will be in the mastermind group tomorrow, but I definitely want you to know, like, if you have not seen, if you're new to us and you haven't seen our most recent recordings, you can go here into the mastermind group and you'll see our clients asking questions, but you'll also notice that there's always going to be, well, this is a call I did with one of our partners last week. There's actually a bigger discussion there about how to use Remind on Facebook. But then there's also like, this is the call for the top tools to get more listings. Now that's not this call. This is the get started call. So there are kind of 3 calls that I do: top tools to get listings, get started, and Facebook advertising. But this call that we are doing today, it covers a lot of things. It's like setup and marketing your listings and use Facebook. If you really want more listings, go watch this, right? Ask the support team to get you there. Yes, Patricia, we just talked about how you can market other people's listings. Did you not hear that? Julie, run an open house ad that you are not holding the open house. So Julie, what do you mean, Julie, by your question? Run an open house ad that you are not holding the open house. What does that mean? So Patricia, when you go to the listings page, there's a green button at the top that says add listing. And you click grab active listing, you drop in the zip code, you drop in the MLS ID for the property, you deselect that since it's not your listing and grab it. And that will pull the listing in and it will sit here and then all the tools will be there. So it's someone else's listings that I have that has an open house. Yes. Well, no, I don't quite understand, Julie. So it says, so it's someone else's listings that has an open house. The best way to get buyer leads is to run an ad. That's what I'm saying, Julie. But they will go to the open house without me. So if you've got, Julie, your question is a little bit confusing, but let's just say that one of your colleagues has an open house and they're going to sit at their own open house and you've asked them, hey, can I market your home, your open house and get more buyers? Right. And if they say yes, well, then you can go right here and grab the listing. And if it doesn't say open house, you can just you can add the open house and then you can run an ad on it. This is the same answer for both Julie and Patricia, right? Now for Julie, it sounds like you're not even going to be there, but you're still going to capture leads. Okay. And so if somebody has told you can market their listing, well, that's how you do it. Now for Patricia, who knows, maybe you're going to be sitting there where you're going to be there during the weekend, sitting at that house for a couple of hours. I would by all means tell you to get the open house in there, like click on edit listing, add your open house date and time, and then run an ad and use all the tools that we emailed. Like you just click here on open house and you add the open house here and you save the date and time. Right. And we'll create a bunch of tools. If you got 5 or 7 days to market in advance, we've got clients generating 50 to 80 leads in that much time, right? If you run an ad for an open house, I would just tell you the default is $35. That's plenty. You'll get 20, 25 leads that way. If you want more leads, you can up your budget. Okay. Does that make sense? And I will say this, and I'm happy to answer any other questions. I'm going to run an ad on an open house. I'm going to say one more thing about that. And that is that, let me just show you how you do it. All right. You go create listing ad and let's see. Work here is going to give me some grief. What's the problem? Give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to get to the page here. So I want to create a listing ad for a property that is open house. And I'm going to click create an ad. Yeah. So, okay. Give me a second, Julie. Now, you can kind of run this out just like this, but if you want more activity, more leads, click advanced options. And if there's anything compelling about this house, remember this box over here on the left, this is the contact. This is the content that's over here on the right. So sometimes there's stuff about this home that we don't know, right? Like it's in a great school district, or it's got a new kitchen, right? New custom kitchen, whatever, right? You know, custom wine cellar, right? But whatever is like a selling point that we're not putting there automatically, just type it in, right? Just like this. And then when you run it, it's going to work there because the MLS shows that it's an open house, not just a new listing. Yeah. So when you pull the listing in, and this is true for everybody, I've shown you how you do it on the listings page. Sometimes the MLSs do not let us know that there's an open house. Okay. So when we go to listings, when you grab it, it might just come in as active or just listed, right? And if it does, you can always click on edit and add the open house date and time. Okay. It just takes you a few seconds. So guys, thank you for joining me today. Thanks for the questions. I hope this is helping you. I would definitely let me give you one more thing. And I definitely recommend, this is called leadgenwebinars.com. And on this are 4 webinars that we rotate through. How to make 250 grand a year, Facebook ads, top tools for getting listings, and then get started, which is what we did today. I recommend that you get on a few of these and that you do try to get on a call live with us once a month, because we're going to be adding a lot of new tools. You're going to want to take advantage of those tools. They're just designed to help you get more leads. So you can sign up for all the classes here. You're welcome to share this with your colleagues. And that's it. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Get in the mastermind group. Ask the support team. Thanks, Juanita. Yeah, I mean, Juanita, you've been playing with us for a long time. I will tell you this. We are going to be adding more tools that capture leads, but we're also going to add more tools to help you convert leads. That reminds me, I forgot to mention this. We actually have follow-up. So if you don't have a good CRM, we have a lot of feedback already coming back that this follow-up campaign, the drip campaigns for buyers and sellers, are already converting listings. Like our clients are running ads, they're turning this on, and the drip system is converting those into actual contracts. So if you don't have good CRM, turn on our follow-ups. So guys, everybody, thanks for all the questions again. This has been recorded. It will be in the mastermind group tomorrow. Take care. Keep safe. And don't forget, in the mastermind group, the recorded calls are there. So if you want to see the past ones, you can see them there. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon.